26-page PDF to install it.
Can you send me a copy of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna set a. I'll drop a folder on all of your utilities with just a general all the files I use. I think this. Yeah, this has all of the. I think what you need to request it in here.
Cool.
So yeah, so you. When you finally get it into your shopping basket, you'll see that there are 2 items. It requires you to do that. You'll go to the shopping basket. This page is terrible and will reload on you 16 times before you're finished. You click on to the order. And here's where you're going to need the hardware key. So if you don't have the executable, it'll allow you to download it from right here. I just always run it from
executable.
Yep. The page will reload. And then you'll just go through here and check and then submit once you're all done. I've already got all of my license files, so I'm not going to bring this any further on this one. So licenses take about usually anywhere between 12 to 36 hours for Volkswagen to process. So once you get the email saying that your license has been released, you then can come over here under the license.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be able to download the license file. Supposedly, all of your licenses that you've requested are in the most up-to-date license file. I have not always found that that's the case. It's been rather hit or miss. So I keep a separate license file for every single Toughbook I create, or ODIS machine that I administrate.
Okay.
It seemed to work a little bit more stable than what Volkswagen says you can do with it. So once you have your license file, you can then come over to the ECRMS, the Certificate Request Management System.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where all of my active certificates are. This current one, I found out yesterday from Volkswagen that in the transition to ODIS 4.0 from 3, we can no longer use the old certificates that were used for 3. We have to request new certificates. So I'm actually working on a ODIS machine right now and waiting on Volkswagen to release the certificate so that I can get it installed. So I went through and requested that yesterday. I'll just go through and show you guys. You'll click on Create Certificate, of course. There we go. And here it's really easy. You'll just either type in your name or User Service Manager. You'll give it a device type. Since this is a C model, you'll put in the hardware key. That did not paste the hardware key. And it's not letting me delete it. Yeah, so basically you'll just do this. You'll run the hardware key executable. You'll paste in the hardware key. Give it a device name. I give all of mine unique names. This is KMVW 6150C1 that we're on right now. It just makes it easier. I have all of my machines in Kaseya, so I can keep an eye on them. And then once you submit, you're going to have to print out the page, and you'll have to have your service manager print their name and sign it, and then you'll have to fax it to this number. And then, yep.
Okay.
And then in about 24 hours, you'll get an email, or your service manager will get an email, depends on who you use for contact, saying that the certificate has been released and you can now download it. Yeah, so one quick thing about the certificates: if you don't download it within the first 48 hours, you have to call Volkswagen IT support to get the certificate reactivated for download.
Oh wow! All right.
So when you, I'll show you. So you'll have to call this number, and then you'll give them your dealer code and the certificate request number, and then it's a pretty quick process. It usually takes a few minutes, and then you're good to re-download it. It's another reason why I keep all of my certificates on my utility, just here and available for me. So yeah, so that's really the certificates. Getting those built up is probably going to be one of the best things that you'll do as far as headaches, because when you have one of these that just goes down and you don't have the license file and certificate on hand, that machine will be down for another 4 to 6 days while you're waiting on Volkswagen to send you files. So getting these built up is one of the best preemptive support things you can do. And that's really it for that portion. So I don't know how much you guys have actually seen ODIS or not. So this is the program. It has a couple prompts when you log in, just saying, do you want to accept the terms? Yes. Post-install process, there's one thing that you need to change under admin. And then connections. And by default, it sets to CPN, and you have to set this to internet. If you do not set that to internet, it will the program won't be able to talk to Volkswagen servers to update.
Gotcha.
What does the acronym CPN stand for?
I have no idea.
And are your computers, are your shop computers set up in a different scope, or is it the same scope as the rest of your dealership?
It's just the same scope.
Oh, okay.
So these things, they communicate with they have Bluetooth heads. So the connection to the car is Bluetooth.
Yeah, I had a old service director that was trying to be cheap and got some from eBay. They didn't work at all.
Nope, we had the exact same problem with the service director previous to this current one. They bought 3 heads off of eBay and were complaining to me on why I couldn't get them to work.
And because
Yeah,
all the press, that's why.
Luckily the heads from eBay worked over USB, so we were able to use those for a little bit until they eventually died. But yeah, that's something that they have to buy directly from Volkswagen.
Yeah, that's what I told. We did the same thing. We did USB, but their techs were like, "No, we want wireless." I'm like, "Oh, it's up to your service director."
I mean, that's a bad idea all around. I mean, you're looking at liability also. I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. That happened at BMW also at our store, and I made the guy uh, like pretty much throw away those two that he bought because I go either return them or do something with them because we're not gonna keep them in the shop. We're not gonna keep counterfeit stuff in our shop, man.
Right, because it might be connected to the network. It's just horrible.
Yep.
But also, I was going to ask you, how do we, I don't know if you already discussed it, but how do we go about obtaining the license? Because I heard you said we need to get the license before we can request a certificate.
Yeah, that's I'm actually going to switch over to second. This one's actually fully up to date. That's shocking. I have a second. I actually have another diagnostic laptop sitting next to mine that doesn't have anything installed on it that I was going to show you guys the install process.
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, there is one thing that I wanted to show you before we switch off of this, and that's the EDIC manager. So with these guys, pairing them to the Bluetooth heads. So you'll hop the Bluetooth head into the car so it powers up. Go into Windows Bluetooth Manager, add a device. It will it'll show you a kind of blue like switch looking thing. That's the network hardware. Let it load up the name because the name will give you the PIN that you need to enter for the security code. It'll be in brackets.
Oh.
I don't have any Bluetooth devices in range, or else I would show you. Show me. Okay, yeah. So right here. So it's that 5054, and then this 142 number. That'll be the security pin that you'll enter in order to get this paired.
Okay.
And then once that's all paired, you're going to have to go into the softing DPDU, and then you'll do the EDIC configuration manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I've already added this, it's it's in here, but you'll have to add a new device. Okay. I always just go straight to the intercom port, and then it's usually the lower COM number that you'll want to add. Sometimes Windows freaks out and puts it as the higher number, but that's been fixed recently. And then just if you don't add the EDIC manager, the Volkswagen software cannot communicate with the Bluetooth head. So this is one of the more crucial things that you'll have to do after you install the software and get it set up in the shop.
Gotcha.
Okay. Frank, can you switch me over to the other laptop now? Thank you, Frank. So to download ODIS, ever since the 3.0 software, they changed how the downloads work. You have to import the certificate key to Windows, And then I created a link because I was sick of opening the PDF every time. You'll open this web page. It'll prompt you saying that you want to confirm the certificate that you're going to use. Okay. You'll then go to ODIS, and this is also all in the PDF that I'll give you guys.
Okay.
Trade retail, software, installation, and here's where they put all of the latest first portion installs to the program.
Let's see.
So I've already downloaded the latest 4.0 version on here. And Volkswagen servers are not quick. So start the install process, or start the download, and then walk away for 15 minutes.
Right.
So I already have it on here, so I'll go and show you. So here's where you select which model it is.
Okay.
Another C model. I don't know if you guys have many A models in your shop. I have recently told my service manager that they need to stop using them unless they're using them for just road tests. Their first generation i5s with 4 gigs of RAM max, they're starting to show their age. The updates pretty much fail every single time that they try and run them.
Right.
So we only have B and C models in our shop now. So here's where in the software it'll request that you get the license file. So if you don't have the correct license file with the correct hardware ID, when you click next here, I'll actually show you. It should error out. It didn't. Wow, that's surprising. If you hadn't noticed, this software is very buggy and changes a lot.
Yeah.
So if this is a brand new ODIS laptop that you're setting up, on the patch first, it's hung on most every single one of the brand new setups I've done. You can I'll have to find it again. I'll put it in some of my install instructions on the utility files that I'll give you guys. I manually ran the patch first batch last time to get it to run on one of my machines. So it'll give you this here. Oh yeah, see, that's why. Yeah, so it now yeah. So it now doesn't give you the error that it's the wrong license in the install process. It now gives you the wrong error or wrong license file after you run it. That's wonderful. Man, these things are a pain. Oh, I wonder if I can just do this. Haha.
It worked. At least I think it's gonna work.
Yeah, it takes a bit on the first one. So after you do the initial program installation, that's a small 600 meg file. This is where you have to install the certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So you go through here and oh, it can be a pain. There we go. And here's where you need the password, which is the first portion of the hardware key. It's the portion right before the, I'll show you. Right before the first colon. That's the password that is used for these. But because this is an ODIS 3 certificate and I'm trying to install ODIS 4, I'm getting this error.
Yeah.
So I can't show you past this point. So basically, after you'll do this, you'll import the certificate. It'll pass. You'll then have to get a username and password from one of your technicians to do the updates. They'll know which username and password that you'll have to use for this portion.
Okay.
And then you'll click next. It'll ping Volkswagen servers for the latest update files. Usually, it's about a 2 to 3 gigabyte download.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these. I make sure to run these hardwired, at least, especially for the first initial setup. It tends to work better.
Right.
Let's see, what else is on my list of things? If you have one of these and the program seems to have just completely blown up on you, and you can try and uninstall the program and reinstall it. That works about 60 to 70% of the time. These things have a built-in Windows imaging reset tool built into BIOS.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll go into BIOS. The password for BIOS is the model number. So this is a VAS6150C. So that would be what you would enter for BIOS.
Yeah.
And then all the way over on the right-hand side, there will be an option under that tab to reset the machine. 9 times out of 10, if I have an ODIS machine blow up, I'll just run the reimage program. It tends to it's about 20-minute process, and it'll guarantee that you don't have any more headaches going forward.
So that would be the basically the best way to do it.
Yes, yeah. If you have one that's been giving you trouble and it's been a headache for you, just go ahead and reimage it. It'll save you troubleshooting time later on.
Right.
When you say reimage, you mean reimage the whole PC or just the software itself?
Yeah, so it's a reimage of the entire PC, but it's Volkswagen built their own reimage tool into the BIOS of the computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Tough books usually do that towards the end.
These are tough books, so it's the exact same thing that you're probably referring to.
Awesome.
Trying to think of anything else that's. I don't know if you guys have updated the RAM in yours. We made sure to update all of our B and C models to 16 gigs of RAM. They seem to run a lot better and definitely cause a lot less issues. Volkswagen still ships even the latest D model with only 4 gigs of RAM.
Right.
And the amount of times that I've walked up to one and saw Windows saying this computer's running out of RAM, we went through and upgraded every single one of our tough books to 16 gigs of RAM. Make sure you do one at a time because you're going to have to request a new license and certificate because it changes the hardware ID.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And I think that's all I really wanted to go over with you guys. Just getting these files it's going to save you the most time in the long run.
Right. Yeah, this is very interesting.
What? I guess, do you guys have any questions about the software for me?
I don't have anything I can think of now.
I'm sure I'm going to have questions as I begin to use it. But
right now. And I've been dealing with this software hands-on for 4 years now, so pretty much just shoot me an email and I can just write it from memory. These things are unfortunately emblazoned into my mind now.
Yeah, Lindo, you have Metro Volkswagen, right?
Right, I have Metro Volkswagen and DFW Audi.
Yeah, I like that dealership, man, Metro Volkswagen.
Yeah, it's not too big. It's pretty small.
So I wonder if I'm sure it's going to be very similar to the software that we're going to be using in Porsche, but
yeah, it is literally the exact same software and same website, same requesting everything.
Cool.
Just a different brand. Yeah, because I don't know if you guys remember seeing on the first one, when you pull up the application, it has all of the Volkswagen brands listed on it.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, I did see that.
Well, thanks, Justin. We appreciate you taking the time and showing us this, man.
Yeah, no worries. It's something, honestly, I wish I had when I first started dealing with this software because it was just kind of being thrown to the wolves, and the software is not exactly intuitive to get set up the first time, and Volkswagen is not helpful.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember the old shop foreman was always on the phone for forever trying to get a hold of Volkswagen.
Yep. Yeah, luckily, ever since I took over these things and I got the install process down, and I wiped every single one of them pretty much as soon as I took them over. And all the issues seem to go away. There's been a few issues transitioning major version revisions, and that's kind of to be expected with Volkswagen software. So.
Besides this, Justin, I've been meaning to ask you, who takes care of your licensing for your Ford?
For Ford?
Yeah.
My service manager handles all the licensing.
Okay. Because, man, I'm having the hardest time at the foreman that used to be there used to take care of the licensing there, and now he left us, and the new people that are like working there, they're really not. I mean, it's been like 3 months, and they haven't gotten the hang of that. So I think I'm gonna have to.
I always have my service manager because they're the ones that should be signing off on the purchasing of licenses too.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it shouldn't be within the shop.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm gonna have to take over that function though at Ford because these guys, I mean, I already have like 3 IDSs that they actually deleted the software without releasing the license, and now we can't.
Oh, that's easy.
And I told them
just call. Yeah, call Ford and they'll release those.
Yeah, I've told them to do that several times, and I mean they either don't want to do it or. So I think I'm just gonna have to take over it for a little while and then babysit it, and then hopefully one of those guys can.
Yep.
Begin to do that. But I was just wondering. It was just a trivial question on who was handling the licenses for your Ford.
Yeah, it's we ever since we bought that store, we pushed that immediately onto the service manager, and they've been really good about whenever they're expiring, renewing them, or if they need.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right.
I think that I don't have any more questions. If
Yeah, if you guys just want to send me a IP of one of your utilities, I'll get an ODIS ODIS folder created on them in the incoming, and then drop some files there for you.
Here, I'm entering it right now. 168.
Yeah, same here.
6. You see it?
Yep.
All right, I just sent you mine as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I'll drop those off, and I'll send you guys emails when I have those folders. I'll include the latest ODIS installer just so you guys have it too.
Okay.
Well, thanks.
All right, sounds good to me.
Okay.
All right,
All
man.
right, thank you, sir. Thank you,
You guys.
everybody.
All right.
Yeah, have a good day.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye.